Everyone watching this video probably knows what Tetris is. You know, the game where there are blocks falling and you have to stack them. Tetris is probably one of the most popular video games and most well-known games in the history of gaming. And with the game's simplicity, it makes anyone from any age group, from any background, be able to enjoy it. Now, since the game is just about stacking blocks, how can you get a narrative out of that? Well, turns out there is a story behind Tetris, and that story has been told in the newest movie, Tetris. So let's review it. So this movie follows the story of a businessman named Hank Rogers. He is this video game salesman. He finds out about the game Tetris, and he wants to bring Tetris to everyone. So he works with Nintendo to bring Tetris to the Game Boy. And how does he do that? Well, he goes over to the USSR to try and get rights from Tetris, because if you didn't know, the guy that invented Tetris was Alexei Pachnev, who lived in the USSR. This movie really gets interesting once the main character gets into Russia. Now, when he's in Russia, he has to face off other people trying to get the rights to Tetris, but also the KGB. The head of the KGB in the film, I thought was a very good villain. Now, I thought the acting in this film was very good. Taron Egerton as Hank Rogers, he did a great job. I loved him in Rocket Man, and he does also a great job here. Toby Jones is also great. He plays a character which is also trying to get the rights to Tetris. He's some very good dialogue, and he delivers it perfectly. And of course, I mentioned him, the KGB agent. I quite liked his character. In the movie, they have these effects of like these 8-bit graphics, because Tetris is an 8-bit game. Now, these graphics make for some cool effects and stuff. When you travel to a location, you have this sort of 8-bit style design of the location. Also, the music is basically the Tetris theme song, but in different versions. There's of course the normal Tetris, but then you've got an upbeat action one, then you've got this other 80s style Tetris, then you got this Soviet army sort of music. Now, those were all the good stuff, but there are some stuff that I should point out, like it does delve in with a lot of legal stuff, and you have these at the IP, you got rights to arcade games and like all that stuff. That was a bit complicated and I didn't always follow, but I still had a good time watching it. A lot of people are saying is that it's very dramatic and I do get that. It's probably wasn't as dramatic as it was, but it makes still a great film. Despite the negatives, I thought it was a very fun time watching it, and I do recommend. I would probably give it like 4 out of 5 stars, because this is what films I think should be nowadays. But yeah, that's all I have to say, so see ya.